Good morning. My name is Tony Navarra, and I am here with part two of my review of the book Hooked: Why Cute Cells and Other Marketing Magic We Just Can't Resist by Patrick Fagan. And I continue to be amazed by this book. Why do I continue to be amazed by this book? Well, here's a short reason. As a salesperson, if I work in a store that sells shirts and somebody walks into the store and I sell them a shirt, there's a certain level of salesmanship involved, depending on how motivated the customer is. So if they're highly motivated, I'm basically just an order taker. If they're slightly motivated, I might have to work a lot harder to get them interested in a particular shirt and to pull the trigger on that shirt. And that's one level of sales. The other level of sales, and to me, this is the gold standard, is when you walk out of the shop, you pull somebody off of the sidewalk, and then you sell them a shirt. Now, that person didn't wake up this morning and go, oh boy, I need a new shirt. They're just minding their own business. Maybe they're heading out to lunch. Maybe they're going to meet a friend or whatever. But you were able to generate enough desire in them to want the shirt. And that's what really excites me about this book. The author talks about generating that desire. And let's start with a hard fact. People are basically lazy. I'm lazy. You're lazy. If it's hard work, we want to avoid it as much as possible. Let's be honest with ourselves. We can think we're all motivated and we're grinding away. But at the end of the day, our brains take a lot of shortcuts and we jump to conclusions. Those tendencies of our human brains can be used to our advantage. For example, there was a study done. One group, it's the control group, and they're given a choice. They could either have a healthy bowl of fruit, or they could have an unhealthy piece of cake. Approximately 65% of the people chose the healthy fruit. Now they took a second group and they gave them something of a little bit more of a cognitive task. For example, remember a 7-digit number. 7 digits are easy. I mean, here in the US, 7 digits is what we use for telephone numbers without the area code. People asked to remember the 7-digit code, the percentages flipped. Now, 65% of the group chose the unhealthy cake versus the healthy fruit. Now, that's interesting. I mean, that's very interesting to me as a salesperson. I can give my prospect some information for her cognitive skills to think about, and then the more primal urges can kind of bubble to the surface. The desire for an unhealthy snack becomes easier to give into and more difficult to resist. And that's why when you get tired, it's hard to stick to your diet. Now, when it comes to generating desire, you want to tap into those primal urges. You want to give the cognitive left brain, the rational thought process, you want to give it something to chew on. Now, while it's chewing, it's distracted. And then at the same time, you can appeal to the emotional part of a human. Now, what are those primal urges? According to the author, they're things like sex, food, fear, violence, safety, tend and befriend, faces, or cute little puppy dogs. People like those dogs. These are desires that already exist in your customer. You're simply appealing to the desires that are already there. So you grab their attention with something primal, you throw their rational mind a bone, and you appeal to primal desires. Now, for example, I sold fireplaces, which I've talked about before here. I sold fire, I sold warmth, and I love selling fire. I sold outdoor fire pits and indoor fireplaces. And humans, we domesticated fire over 100,000 years ago. Fire changed the course of our evolution, and it is literally ingrained into our bodies and to our psyches. It can evoke fear, fear of forest fires, for example, and it can also evoke hearth and home, family warmth, family togetherness, that little bubble of safety we like to create around our family. The storm is raging outside, and here we are in our tight little home with our nice cheery fire. I love selling fire because you can tap into all that stuff. Now, after a few initial questions by me, I would just lay a few technical aspects on them, and their little left brain would just start to chew on that. And along with those facts came the stories that tapped into something primal. It was one of two stories. Some people were trying to recreate the childhood that they had, and they want to, give to their children or their grandchildren, or they wish to create a childhood that they never had, and that they wish they had, and that they dream that they had. And I would appeal to those emotions, the longing for safety and protection. And that was the part right there that bought those fireplaces. Anyway, I'm loving this book. It's bringing up a lot of good stuff. I'm sure there's going to be a part 3 or part 4 behind here. Have a great day. Sell a lot of stuff.